next point is the human machine, and it's kind of, I sort of said, yeah, why your team isn't following the manual is how I described it. And there's an article I put on LinkedIn, I think last year, about the kind of human machine. And a few of these things I've talked about, like the cognitive load problem is one of the kind of key challenges you're going to face. But the phrase I came up with, like, understanding the human machine, is pretty critical to help you understand how you get humans to be kind of consistent in ways of working. And the phrase I came up with was the lazy problem solver. And the theory of that is, look, humans are incredibly creative creatures. We love solving problems. We love designing solutions. It's in our nature. It's one of our traits. That constant desire to look at a problem and how we solve it. But also we're lazy. We're not. We're always trying to do things quickly. We're always trying to find, how can I get this thing done so I can do what I want to do? And that, the reason we're so innovative, the reason that we're sort of solve problems and like things that like give us more time back, is that we are driven by that. And it's, when you think about designing ways of working for humans, like, factor in the kind of lazy problem solver. Look, if it's going to take them more than 2 minutes to find something, I reckon you've lost them. They will then default to, well, I need to take control of it. If it's too difficult, I'm just like, oh, it's too frustrating. So the critical thing we need to work on is, it's the information they need when they need it to meet that basic kind of path of least resistance challenge. And if an old template on a project that was done 5-10 years ago is the quickest way that they think they'll get it done, they will default, because the thought of them trailing through a SharePoint site or trailing through a document and following 6 or 7 links to try and find it, they are going to get incredibly frustrated with it, and you will start to see drift from that behavior. The problem solver is also quite unique, and I think one of the best features we ever built in Method Grid was, yes, I can build a playbook, but then I can clone that playbook for every project and then give it to the team and say, look, I've given you 80%, I think, of what you need to do. They're the standards. That's what I need you to meet. But go and have a conversation with the client, and I want you to tailor that playbook, move it around, adjust it, right size it. But that's the way I want you to build the solution for how you solve that problem for the client. And being able to connect humans to, or anchoring them to, the fact that they are using the kind of playbook as a way of them solution and designing the problem, and rather than it's kind of like I have a method statement and very rigid, kind of bit static, you need to write a document to tell me where you've tailored it and where you've right sized. That's probably not going to meet their basic solution exploring design feature. It's kind of like, how do I meet that distinctive trait that they really want to understand the problem and work out on a solution? And the kind of playbook concept we built for that primarily is built to kind of address that primary need in terms of the lazy problem solver. I'm going to switch to the other thing you kind of have to address is the fear index. You can watch for behavior signs, and when you're kind of explaining ways of working, they'll pull back, they don't want to touch it. A lot of things about when you want people to follow your way, you have to fundamentally understand, well, look, what is in place to help them take that step? It's very rarely their capability that's their problem. It's always going to be their experience and their confidence to give it a go. And when you kind of design methods, or you want to get consistent ways of working in, it's kind of, well, what can I do to influence that fear index so that they've got the confidence to do it my way or our way? And it can be as simple as, yes, training and learning are key to that. It could be, well, here are the top experts that you need to speak to. If you've never done it before, these are the 3 people in the firm that can help you do it. Or look, here's the template I want you to use, and here's 2 best practice examples. All I'm trying to do with those very simple techniques is just make them feel at ease so that they've got all the support they need in order to execute it. Because if they fear it and they're not going to be successful, or that it's going to damage their reputation, they're going to default to what they know, and that what they know is what they did on their last project, and that might not be the way that you want them to operate. But be encouraged, because humans have a thirst to learn. Like, we love learning new skills, we love developing new skills. So they want to develop their experience, but again, how do you make it accessible and easy for them to build their confidence and acquire that skill set? The other point is came up this week. Everyone says humans hate change, and I think I kind of rephrased it. I said I think humans love change. They love change that they're in control of, and especially if you think of like project management and all the kind of roles about the things that they have to do. They love kind of, if I've built this solution and I've designed it, it's mine, and they love the change that they're in control of. But it's about giving them the kind of tool sets and kits to help them explore that. But rather than make it kind of, again, another mental picture of this is how I think I'm delivering it, how do you help them visualize that, and how do you help them communicate it so that it's completely transparent in terms of how they've configured and tailored ways of working for your organization?